DMDE has a reputation for being powerful, affordable, but painfully difficult to use. So in this DMDE review, I want to see whether it's actually a practical choice for a regular user who just wants to recover their data. I'll go through the full recovery process myself, try it in common data loss cases, and compare the overall experience with other recovery tools. So let's start with the features you actually get. DMDE runs on Windows, macOS, Linux, and even DOS, and it supports most common file systems. It's claimed to handle accidental deletion, formatted drives, and raw partitions that won't mount across hard drives, SSDs, USB drives, and memory cards. Format-wise, everyday photos, documents, and video are supported by default, and you can add new formats yourself using samples. DMDE combines file system scans with signature-based recovery, so it can still find files when the file system is damaged or gone. Beyond recovery, it has several advanced tools, even in the DMDE Free Edition. You can image or clone an unstable drive, rebuild lost partitions, reconstruct failed RAID setups, and inspect raw disk data with a hex editor. For experienced users, that means more control. For everyone else, it makes DMDE feel even more confusing, and the interface does little to help. There's no guided workflow here, just dense menus and raw drive lists with no friendly labels. Filtering is limited, you can't preview files during the scan, and the preview itself has a few issues too, but I'll come back to those later. So in terms of usability, DMDE clearly falls behind newer tools like Disk Drill, with its cleaner interface and easier navigation. At the same time, its advanced settings and extra tools are genuinely solid, putting it closer to technical software like UFS Explorer or Disk Genius. The only thing still missing, in my opinion, is smart monitoring for checking drive health. Now let's actually get into the DMDE testing. I wanted to test it on 3 real recovery cases: a 500GB HDD with deleted files, a quick formatted 16GB USB drive, and a corrupted 8GB SD card. But before running anything, I checked the obvious question: is DMDE safe to install? I ran the installer through VirusTotal and it came back clean, so you can safely download it. Just make sure you get it from the official website. When you open the app, you're greeted with a raw list of physical devices. As I mentioned, the interface isn't exactly user-friendly, so I'm going to show you how to use DMDE. For most recovery cases, select either the entire physical device or the logical volume where your files were stored, then click Open. Choose Full Scan. Leave the default settings unless you know exactly what you need to change, and start scanning. Once it finishes, open the most relevant result, browse the folders, preview, and select your files. Then click Recover and save them to another drive. As for the preview, during my tests, proper previews only worked for photos. Videos, documents, and archives just opened in the hex viewer. For most users, that says nothing about recovery chances, and it definitely hurt the overall experience for me, especially since other tools like Disk Drill can open most common formats without any trouble. Now the results. On the HDD, DMDE recovered 95% of deleted files in about 80 minutes. Documents and photos came back essentially intact. That's about what most recovery tools manage with simple deletion. The formatted USB drive was tougher, landing at 83% usable in 30 minutes. JPG files did well, but several camera raw formats and videos came back damaged or were missing. The corrupted SD card came in around 77% in roughly 12 minutes. Documents and photos still came through, but video files were mostly incomplete. Overall, DMDE performs about as well as Disk Genius or PhotoRec, so its recovery engine is solid, but it doesn't really stand out. Media recovery is one of its weaker areas. Here, it falls behind more media-focused software like Disk Drill, which has an advanced camera recovery mode designed specifically for fragmented camera footage. So the results are good enough but aren't perfect. Lastly, let's cover pricing. If we compare DMDE free versus paid, it's clear that you don't always need to pay to recover files. The main DMDE Free Edition limitations are a 4,000 file limit per operation and recovery only from the folder currently open, so for a smaller job, it may be all you need. But if that's not enough, you'll need a paid license. The DMDE price depends on the version. Express is the cheapest and removes recovery limits for a limited period, Standard is for regular long-term use, and Professional adds features for technicians and commercial work. So back to the real question, is DMDE actually a good fit for a regular user? Honestly, not really. It's a good, affordable recovery engine, but the interface is rough enough to slow down anyone without technical experience. It's great if you're comfortable with hex editors and endless settings, but exhausting if you just want your files back. For something simpler, it's worth looking at other options. You can check out my other reviews on the channel or the list of the best recovery tools linked in the description. But if I had to pick just one tool, I'd recommend Disk Drill. It has better previews, a friendlier interface, and stronger results with raw photos and fragmented video, while keeping the whole recovery process much easier to follow. I've reviewed Disk Drill as well, so you can check that video for a closer look. And that's it for today's DMDE data recovery review. If this helped, leave a like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. And if you want to read more about DMDE, I'll leave a link to the full breakdown on 7 data recovery in the description. See you next time.